Hi, pals. It's so great to be with you again today. It's been, if I looked right, about 6 weeks since I've done video. Ooh, am I falling down on the job? No. We had about 1,500 pounds of vintage designer beads. Some were glass, some acrylic, a lot of pearls, Japanese check, and some acrylic, monoacrylic. And I have been sorting. So it was really great to take this break so that I can talk to you a little bit about something else. And what we're going to do today is something a lot have been asking me. Hey, Brenda, how come you don't have a gold finish for the Bisou by 1928 pewter line? Well, it's because it's expensive. It's expensive to get gold on anything. Very, very expensive. Even when I want to do a reprise item, like have Mr. Bernie make something he hasn't made for a long time, I said, you want to do that in pewter or silver, don't you? Because gold plate's going to make the price a lot higher. And it does. But let's face it, as much as so many love the pewter and silver looks, a lot like gold. So how can we introduce a gold finish without all that money? Well, we have to do it ourselves. Now, what I've done here is not plating. It would be what you would call a finish. It would be called an artisan finish. In our case, a mixed media finish. Is it going to be durable? Yeah, it will be durable. It will be quite durable, especially if you take care of your jewelry and you educate your customers to do the same thing. But anyway, I've picked out 3 products to show you the results. And first one is I have the Lumiere by Jacquard, which we carry the Exciter kits again at Bisou Boutique, so you might want to come get one because they're really super duper buy. In the metallic gold, so we're doing that. And then I have good old vintage patina in the Victorian gold, which is really a Ranger product. Very, very good product. I really, really like this stuff. We don't carry it, but hate to send you off to a craft store, but you can get it just about any craft store and usually on sale too. And then here's something else that's a little bit harder to find, and it is the Testors enamel paint markers. They're the bomb. I wish I could carry them, but I can't because they're uber super flammable, and so you can't put that through the United States Postal Service. Shucks. But I can tell you about it. You can go looking for it. I'm sure you'll find it. I hate to send you somewhere else. I'd love to send them to you. I can't even gift them to you. Rats. But anyway, we're going to do those 3. Testors, Vintage, and Lumiere. So I suppose I might as well just say, come on over here, and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about are the ones right along here. Okay, I'm going to take this one out of the equation for a minute, because these are the ones that I did with Lumiere product. You able to see it when I hold it like this, Javi?
Yep.
Okay. So this is what it looks like, and then the Exciter packs, which I offer at the site. I think you get like 9 little bottles. There's a neopaque, and then there's a halo colors. And these all have like mica in them, and they're really wonderful. They were originally designed to be used on fabric, but I found out that they work nicely on metal too. So the effect that you get with the Lumiere in the metallic gold is like what you see here. Now I don't know if Javi can kind of zoom in, but it's kind of like, yeah, it looks like gold, but it looks more like a light vintage wash more than, a real gold finish. It almost has an ochre or mustard to it. Actually, if I added a little brown to this, I might have something come out really close to Russian gold plate, which we don't carry anymore. That was the finish Miriam Haskell used. But this is what it looks like on the backs. And I think maybe you can see it, the coverage is not, you know, perfect. You're going to have to do probably a couple of coats. I'll have to go back over these. Let me take the stone out and show you. Yeah, you can see a little bit of the pewter bleeding through on that. So it's going to need probably 1 or 2 coats before it's all said and done for you on that. So that's a downside of it too, but it is a really pretty color, and it goes with so many nice things. But you're probably going to need to do 2 coats. And then with the Lumiere, they tend, for me, to be a little bit glurpy. So you may have to, like, if you put it on these little roses here, you're probably going to have to take a sponge and kind of absorb a little bit of the extra out of there, and then do another coat again, do the same, because it'll glurp up in the crevices. Same with this, it'll glurp up in the crevices. Now it didn't on these because I wiped it off, but now I still have a little pewter showing as well. These pieces are really super because they're itty bitty, great for earrings or connectors, but you can fit the little teeny tiny chatons in them. I didn't glue those in because I have to do another coat on these. It's just, 1 coat of the Lumiere is just not quite sufficient. So that is the one complaint that I have about using it, but it's very inexpensive to use. I think the whole kit of 9 little bottles of all different colors, which you can mix them, they mix nicely, $18 maybe? I mean, for 9 bottles, that's good. And they go a long way too. They go a long way. So, and this is what they look like after, right out of the bottle, which is really, really pretty. They look really cool. Okay, so there's those. I'm going to move them out of the way for now, off to the side. Oh, word. Okay, so now the next row of things that I have to share with you, these are done with the Vintage. I'm going to move them up a little bit so we can get a better look. And as you can see, the color is more like a dark antique brass. Now, I did not put Swelligent brass coat on this. I could have. It would have had probably about the same effect. And coverage. It's pretty good coverage with this, with the Swelligent brass metal coating, same thing. And you can do it. You can use it as a paint because it is. It's a metal paint. The Swelligents have a little bit of metal fused in with a resin binder. So that makes them very special. But I wanted to do the Vintage because some of the girls on the creative group were talking about having used it and liked it. And in fact, I got to give a shout out to Danielle Clark from Opal Rose at Etsy, because she made us a really nice chart that we could look at, and it served as the basis for some of my experiments here. So that's what I used on these. Now I'm going to take these stones out so you can kind of see a little bit more how it covers. It covers better than the Lumiere on the first coat. This could use a second coat in my opinion, but it is a lot better. For example, I'll show you. This is a Lumiere and this is the Vintage. You can see a lot of pewter coming through on that. On this one, not so much. You might even be content with that. Or you might want to distress it a little bit with your handy dandy quadruple aught steel wool. And you can maybe add something to it. Maybe a little bit of brown or black or deep cinnamon to, you know, really build up your antique and really personalize what you're doing. That's what we always like to do when we do our own artisan finishes. We like to personalize them. We build our own recipe. That's ours alone. We don't even share it maybe. Well, if you want to share it, come over to the BC Boutiques Creative Book at Facebook, where you're warmly invited to come and share anything you like, because that's what we're about there, is sharing. But anyway, this is what that looks like. And also you can see the little roses. They came out pretty good. I did have to blot them, like I was telling you. The coverage is more. For example, here, to show you, if you can see it, this is the Vintage, which is a pretty good coat. And this is the Lumiere. I'm seeing a little bit of pewter through there. But you know, you might like that. It's kind of a two-tone effect. So it's all good. It's all up to you what you like. Another thing I wanted to tell you about these nice mounts. I love this mount. And of course it's part of the Bisou by 1928 line. And I found it on one of my trips out to Burbank in the archive, and Mel made it for us, and we love it. But we had a little problem. I don't know what it was. He didn't say, but maybe it was a little shrinkage in the mold over years because it's an old mold. But when we made it the first time, some of you had said that it was hard to fit your 40 by 30s into it, and this is a case in point. This is one of the first batches that we got. I clipped the little hanging hole off the top, and this is a 40 by 30, and this one goes in better than most, but it's still kind of not flat down in it. So I talked to Mel and I showed him. I made him a little video and showed him, you know, what was the problem. I'm gonna have to kind of discontinue this, or else do videos to show him how to use it for a substrate and do tissue decoupage and other things in it, because it's not fitting cameos, and they want it to fit cameos and stones. But he was so sweet. He went out and he got the mold just for us, and he did something to enlarge it, and now we don't have any problem fitting a whole variety of 40 by 30 stones in there. All fit very, very nice. Here's one in raw. There's a glass mirror camera. Every last one fits. Every last one fits. Just perfect. So Shelley will be swapping out the stock that we currently have, because these just came in the raw pewter. In case you want to get them and colorize them, they'll be there. By the time this video is up, the new stock will be swapped out for the old, and you can buy it with confidence. It's going to fit your 40 by 30 cameos. Period, the end. It's going to fit. Yay! We're so happy for that. Isn't this beautiful? That is a real lapis lazuli. I think you say lapis lazuli. I should know that. I always just say lapis stone. And they always have a little bit of the gold mica flake, and this is just love it. This is actually designer acrylic. And now I'm going to sidestep things a little bit and talk to you about designer acrylic. I mentioned to you that we had a lot of it come in here. And people sometimes kind of have a little bit of trouble with acrylic. Or in other words, plastic. Unless it's real early plastic, like Bakelite or Lucite, then yay me, you know, that's all good. But they kind of have a little trouble with it. And I have to tell you, I have too. I've always wanted my check glass. I'm not crazy about Swarovski. If you are, great. I don't like the price of it, and I don't like the look of it. It's beautiful, bright. If you like bright, I like it softer, and so with the check you get a soft look. But anyway, let's face it, it makes your piece heavier. So if you use a lot of it, people may not be able to wear your piece. I mean, you might not be able to wear it. Be gorgeous, but you can't stand to wear it. It's too heavy. And also, the price gets up so high that you can't afford to sell it. Nobody can afford it. You know what the sweet spot is for jewelry? I say 22 to 55, but truth be told, it's more like 28 to 32. If you have something nice that you can sell in that range, you're probably going to sell it fast. So you got to get artful. One way to do that, you got to get clever, One way to do that is with designer acrylics. And so this is a designer acrylic stone that was from that load. I don't know if I have more like this. In that load we had a lot of little bags of a bit of this and a bit of that, and so we're doing mixes. And that's fun. We have a lot of acrylic briolettes, which are awesome. I did some research yesterday, and I looked around at some of the more popular suppliers, and the cost of their acrylic briolettes, if they even had them, was very high. It was way higher than what I asked, and I give you way more for it. And the colors are custom in these lots because they come from a manufacturer, so they're just amazing. So one way to do that is to use acrylic, and you're in good company when you use acrylic. because all of the major designers going back 60, 70 years used it. They did. I was reading yesterday Kenneth J. Lane's biography. I don't know why I never finished it. I'm looking at the pictures. Practically everything was plastic. The very collectible pins that Hattie Carnegie did, he worked for her, they had plastic in them, little imaginative animal figurines and stuff. If you punch in Hattie Carnegie animals to Etsy, see what comes up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Very imaginative stuff, and you keep your price down that way. So, off we go. That's another subject. So now the last one I want to talk to you about is the last product, and that is the Testors paint pen. Now I know I told you I can't ship these, and I truly don't believe I can, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to call down and talk to Christine tomorrow at the post office and see if there isn't a way around it. Maybe if we sent it ground, it'd be okay. They do say precaution, flammable, and I know the Postal Service is not crazy about sending flammable, and I don't do UPS. UPS costs a whole lot more for the type of stuff I ship, and the depot is half an hour from here. We could get pickup, but it just costs more. I'd rather keep with the Postal Service, keep the cost down so that I can offer you free shipping over $50. So that's the problem. Anyway, I'm going to see, but if you can find these Testors enamel pens, they're awesome. For years, there have been the Testors paints in the little jars that you used on the hobby type things. And they're good too, but these, you have more control. And I'm going to show you in a minute how that goes. But they have a whole different look than these other ones. Let me show you. Oh, I don't have to turn around that way. She says, these are the ones I did with the paint pens. And they are very shiny and brilliant. They look the most like gold plate of all. A little bit, being honest, on the edge of being a little bit cheesy. But you can fudge that a little bit by just graying them down with a little bit of antique. Or you could go over top of them with a little bit of the vintage and soften it a little bit. I did that with one of them here. In fact, I'll show you this one. I didn't play with it a lot, so I'm going to play with it a lot more, but you can see the difference. Hopefully you can. This one is more that mustardy old gold color, and this one is the bright, rich gold. Okay, so I let this dry, and then I did this over top. Okay, so they come out really nice. Look how pretty they are on the back. One coat and you're good. That's it. One coat and you're good. I'm going to show you the inside of this. Now, you might say, well, Brenda, do I really have to put it on the inside of the mounts because, you know, maybe it'll make it so it doesn't stick too good, because, you know, that's really true. If you put glue over paint product and then you glue something in it, you know what the glue adheres to? It adheres to the paint, not to the pewter or the brass or whatever the metal is. It adheres to the paint. So what do? Well, the reason you have to put it down into there is because the lip of this, you're going to see that it's not finished down into there, and it's not going to look good, so you have to do it. So what do then? Well, before you go and you glue something in there, get your little fine steel wool out and rough it up a little bit, or take a nail file or whatever you have, you know, that you can rough it up a little bit. Rough it up a little bit in there and get some of the paint off, and then go ahead. Just stay away from the borders, and then go ahead, glue it in, hold it down tight. You should be fine. But that's why I did that. Okay, and as you can see, these are very, very bright, very brilliant. You know what I'm going to do, since I've got my gloves on and I have some raw product here. This is what it looks like before. And we do have these on the website in raw. And we have more coming in plate too. They're at the platers right now. The finisher, excuse me. But all you do is just take your tip and just coat it. Now where I put my finger, I'm probably going to have to touch it up. And then I'll let that dry. And then I'll go over the back, and then I'll catch the sides too. Because pewter, it's dimensional, And so you're going to have to get the sides too, but there you go. That's all there was to it. Easy as pie. You might, if you get it on your skin, you might need to use nail polish remover to get it off. So that's why I'm gloved up here. That will be the best thing. Okay, so that's how that looks. Now, here's a little thing about the Lumiere that I found that's kind of neat. Going back to the first one, I should have showed you this when I had it out. Is if I take my paintbrush, you can just use some little junk paintbrushes unless you demand something with a certain tip. This works for me. And go ahead and apply it. But you can see it's thick. It almost obscures the detail. And I'm kind of just patting it down into there. And I'm definitely going to have to do different coats. And it sounds like Miss Millie got down here and left the door open. Here she comes. You better not jump up here. Her name's Mud, if you do. But anyway, you can see what it looks like going on. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. That's what I don't like about the Lumiere, is that. But what I do like is that if I want to kind of get that two-tone effect, I just take my finger and go back over that and kind of just remove some from the top. Isn't that pretty? It's really pretty and shimmery. You know, if you plate to make a two-tone effect like gold and silver, it's very expensive. In fact, in 1928 Jewelry Company, they used to do a lot of that, and they don't do it anymore because it's got itself priced out of the market. You can't do it. But here at home, with a little bit of acrylic paint and a couple minutes time, you can kind of, you know, play around with it and duplicate that look. So then don't forget, you got to do the back of that too. But I just wanted to kind of demonstrate to you, you know, how that goes. Now, if you have a piece like, I'll just take these. I already grayed that down a little bit. If I want to gray this down a little bit, okay, I would not use the Lumiere on that. I would use the Vintage by Ranger. The, what's the name of it? Victorian Gold, yeah. And kind of get it lightly on my brush. Put this coat on and let it dry real good. I did these last night, so they've dried overnight. And then just go over it a little bit, just on the highlights, to gray it down and make it a little bit less shiny, you know. And then once again, take your finger and buff it out. You don't buff it out to where you take, you know, back to the silver color underneath. You just kind of make it a little less shiny and bright. And I mean, there is a difference here. Let me get one that's not done and show you. See, there's a pretty good difference there. Which one do you like best? Now, to my mind, for my artist's aesthetic, I would have to go with this one that had this on it first for coverage, and then went ahead and did the Vintage on top of it very lightly, and then brushed it out with my finger. And once again, like I say, I might even take a little bit of cinnamon type color, dark burnt sienna maybe, or umber maybe, I have to look, and just a little bit lightly over that on the high points. And you might get an incredible designer look with that. You really might. So it's something to play with. And I was going to tell you too, this is non-toxic. The Jacquard Lumiere. And this one, let me see, I believe it is. Well, it's low toxicity. There's no stank with this stuff, I'll tell you that. No real odor. This one's toxic, and it does have an odor, so you want to use it with some ventilation. It's not a real strong odor. I don't know if these have xylene in them or not. I'll have to look up the MSDS. A lot of times these paint pens that are metallic have xylene in them, which, you know, will give you a really good headache. So you want to, what does it say? Conforms to ASTM MD04236. Let's see if that's the same as this one. Conforms to, should say on here, same thing. Conforms to ASTM D423. This is the same D. Yep, same thing. So I would say it's not high toxicity then, because that's a lower grade. I do know that. ASTM D-4236. But these markers do have some odor with them, so, you know, it's not horrific, but just know that. Okay. What do they run? Well, these little Lumiers in the pack, the designer pack, are gonna run you under $2 a piece. This one, you know what? I can't really say. I don't know what the retail, maybe $3.50, $4, something like that. And then, because I haven't carried them for a long time. And then this one, these are a lot more. These might be running, I don't know, $8, $9 a piece. But honestly, of the three, the one I choose is this one. Testors. Tried and true, old product, been around the block a long time. Another thing I like about it is I've used it long enough to know that the nibs don't gunk up. That can happen a lot of times with markers. The nibs will gunk up over time. So long as you keep them nice and sealed when you're done, you're going to be fine. It's going to last a long time. So anyway, that's all I know about that so far, except that I've got a whole lot of beautiful parts here to play with and get hooked up. I don't know if I can get it done today or not. I can't get on the computer again until Javi gets this rendered, so maybe I'll play. And then maybe tonight for the newsletter I'll have something finished and you can see it. I don't know. We'll do our best. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in today. We really appreciate your being here with us. And I've got all kinds, I've got a whole list of stuff I want to do with you. I just got to go ahead and get it done now. So hopefully we'll get on a roll again. Thanks for your time. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you'll try this. And remember, this is Bisou by 1928 Victorian pewter castings made by the 1928 Jewelry Company. The only place you can purchase them is at BisouBoutiques.com at this time. That's the only place. Use code BSUE1928. And when you have an order of $40 or more on the website for anything, if you enter that, it will give you 25% off this product, which is already competitively priced. You can get 25% off this product with that code, and Javi, you'll go ahead and remember to put that in. Okay, I did say goodbye once already, so goodbye. Have a great day, and we'll be back soon, I hope.